Hello, my name's Tim and welcome to my channel. This will be the first video in a series we'll be doing, or this what this channel's about, which is on Delphi. In this particular series we'll be using Delphi 11.3, I think. It's a community edition. But before we get into all of that, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I've been using Delphi since the 1990s when it first came out. Before then, the company I was working for used Paradox or the Borland products, and we got us some mail about this new product coming out called Delphi. And we tried it, we liked it, and honestly, ever since then, I have been using it for software development, both for Windows. More recently for web servers, and with the more newer versions now, it can actually be used for developing for Android, iOS, and other platforms. So it certainly has come a long way since it first started. What you'll find about one of the cool features of Delphi way back when, and today still, is that it had a nice user interface where you could easily build up forms or screens for an application much more quickly than you would be able to do otherwise. Delphi also uses a Pascal style syntax, a sort of object Pascal, and it makes it a good language to learn, and like I said, you can actually quickly build an application. This particular channel will be for people with no programming experience or experience with other languages. If you are an intermediate or advanced user of Delphi, I'd love to hear from you. So what we're going to do today is going to look at getting the community edition, a quick run through, about 3 or 4 minutes, with the building your typical Hello World type program, and then we'll also talk about what we can do next. Of course, this channel will only be any good if people, the viewers respond, and if there are ideas that you would like me to follow up on, I'm more than welcome to hear from you, because it's you who, you get most. We all get something out of it if we help each other. So, first of all, let's have a look at getting the community edition. You can obviously go to the just look for the embocado.com products page, and underneath there you will find, under the free tools, you will find there is Delphi CE11, and from there you can download the free tool. Once a page pops up, you can enter your details in, say not a robot, and click on the download now. Now there are some restrictions on using the community edition, and one of the main ones, I believe, is that you have to have less than you have to have less than $5,000 worth of there we go, right here. To learn more about the community edition, you have to have less than $5,000 US, and at that point in time you need to look at using a commercial license. Since we're using the free edition, you can get the community edition, and then run through and once it's downloaded, you will find Rad Studio on your in your download area, and you can then install it. We'll just get rid of this application here, so I'll just do a close all, and we'll just say save. And while that's unloading, we will just wait for a little bit. Okay, I'm using two screens here, so I'll just drag this other window all the way across to you over here. So when you're starting up, the very first time you run the program, you'll see something like this screen here, where you get a welcome screen. You can see you've got a learning section, you've got a recent projects, and let's say what you might want to create, be it a Delphi library, a VCL form, a data module, or a multi-device form. One of the, I think it came in 10.x, one of the new features with Delphi was the ability to develop, had a VCL, let's say framework, sorry, a FMX framework, and we're going to stop that now. One of the newer features with Delphi was they added a FireMonkey set of components which allow you to not just target Windows but other operating systems like Linux, Mac, Android, etc., iOS. So from one code base now you can create applications for more than one. You can deploy to more than one target. So when you want to start a new program, so you can, let's say in this case here, when you start a new project, in this case here we're just going to do a VCL application. We will just wait for it to load up, and here you'll see a basic form. The window basically has a structure area which shows the components which are on the form. For the selected component, the properties, and you can also get to their events. You then have the form itself. On the right hand side of my screen here, you've got the a project manager window, and at the bottom here you then have a palette which contains all of the different components that you might want to add into an application. In this instance here, we will be, like I said, working on a Hello World program. And here we have our form. So what we'll do is we're just going to basically have an application with a button on it, and that button, when we click on it, will show, say Hello World. So one of the nice features with Delphi now is that there is actually a search function, so to find components on the within the palette. So here we'll want to add in a button. So we'll type in button. We can drag and just drop that over here, and we'll just make that a bit bigger. And with the properties, we can change the caption to, let's call it click me. We may as well go to the form, and we'll make it into a dialogue as well. So we'll change the border style to dialogue, and we'll change the caption to Hello World. And then we'll just resize it a bit, and there. So what we can do now is when we click on the button, we can go into the events, and in the on-click events event handler, we're going to add a bit of code in, and this is where we will put our message that we want to display. Here, so basically you can see this is, like I said, it's a pretty much of a Pascal's object Pascal we're talking about again. The default unit is Windows unit 1.pas, and the default project is project 1. What we'll do is we may as well give this a proper name, so let's save the project. and let's just create a new folder here. New folder. Hello world, and we'll hit OK there. And we'll call the unit uMain, and the project we will call hello world. Whoops, hello. Well, we'll call it hello. Okay, so F12 is what which we can use to switch between the code and the form itself. Okay, so we're going to put some code behind the button, and to do that we can either go into the events and go into the on-click, or in this case here we could just double-click on the button, and we will put in our show message. Show MESSAGE, and we'll go hello world from Delphi. And that's all we're going to do in this instance. To run it, we can either do a project build, or we could just go here to run. And the program's built, but it appears on my other screen. So what we'll do is let's go and change where we want to have the screen of this window appear. To do that, we will look for the position, and we will change that to let's change that to let's see what desktop center will do here. Okay, so here's the application we've just built, and when we click on the button, a little message that says hello from Delphi pops open. So with this you can see the simplicity with which you can build an application, and like I said, in future episodes we will look at other parts of Delphi. We can look at creating a game. Built into the editor also you've got debugging functionality, so you can step over, trace into functions, you can set breakpoints, you can evaluate variables at runtime, so you can have it connect to a database as well if you want to. So the limitations with Delphi are only in your mind, and whatever you want to do pretty much can be done in Delphi. I've used it to write Windows services. I've written a word search game with it, and yeah, so for that, so basically the whole code for this project is pretty much this form here. This defines the form. The caption of the form, we changed that. We set the border style to dialogue, and we also set the position of the screen to be desktop center. It sort of like went between my two screens. The button itself has a caption, and you can also, we had to assign an on-click event handler. We'll go back and view it as a form now, and if we hit F12, this is the code for the entire program here. Basically consists of a users has an interface section and an implementation section. Follows Pascal syntax pretty much, where you have a users clause where similar to C style includes what needs to be included or used in order for this program to run. We then have a form declaration and it has a button. We added an event handler for an on-click action. There's nothing in the private or public sections, and then we just have the code for the button on click event handler, which was a simple show message. So that's about it for that program, really. Now, what we've seen today is what basically is a very simple example of what can be done in Delphi. I've shown you where you can download Delphi from if you want to have a play with it. It's a good language to start to learn programming. It is it's a strongly typed language. It was actually recommended as a safe language to use. There are plenty of spaces online where you can look for information. One such place there is I think it's a Delphi subreddit on Reddit, and on the Embocado website as well. You can find lots of information. Of course, there is information on my own website, which is Tim Coates Solutions at wordpress.com. In the next video, we will work with looking at different components, user inputs, variables, and data types. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, let me know what you'd like to look at. I'd love to hear from you all. Bye.